Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let's go ahead and before digging into the rest of the stuff here from X, for those of you who would like to boost your immune system, go to Alaska Chaga Tea in the description box. Remember, you get 10% off and free freight for being from the channel. And remember, you got to go back about 2 months because I haven't been putting anything in there. And then for those of you who would like to learn more about the Q-Post, the vaccines, Tartaria, or you'd like to do some research, go to communityreviews.org. John Maggs does a great job of keeping everything updated for you. And then if you would like to see some great artwork, click on the links from Teo. And then for some great reading material, Kevin Richards' books. And if you want to get your car, truck, or Mini Cooper work done, head to Greasy's Garage up in Worcester, Massachusetts. Let's go ahead and dig into some of the stuff here that Brenda sent. Central bankers. Yeah.
To financial institutions in Europe and other countries.
Which ones?
I don't know.
$500 billion, and you don't know who got the money?
The loans go to the central banks, and they then put them out to their institutions to try to bring down short-term interest rates in dollar markets around the world.
Well, let's start with which central banks got the money.
There's 14 of them, which are listed I'm sure they're listed in here somewhere.
All right, so who actually made that decision to hand out $1 trillion that way? $500 billion. Who made that decision?
The Federal Open Market Committee.
Okay, and was it done at one time or in a series of meetings?
A series of meetings.
And under what legal authority?
We have a long-standing legal authority to do swaps with other central banks. It's not an emergency authority of any kind.
Anything specific about it?
Do you know my counsel says Section 14 of the Federal Reserve Act.
Okay, so the central bankers that live in England and make up our Federal Reserve are robbing the world of absolutely everything. But they've been doing this to us every year since 1913. President Trump warned us many times. And of course, these crooks know where the money went. They're lying under oath because they have no choice but to do so. Indeed. They've been lying to us for a long, long time. And then this one here.
Without the massive fraudulent federal payments that go to those states to pay for illegals, to create a massive financial incentive for illegals.
How would they be bankrupt because of that?
They wouldn't be able to balance their state budgets, and they can't issue currency like the Federal Reserve can.
And so their ability to balance budget is dependent upon illegals getting funding?
The scam level here is so staggering. So there are hundreds of billions of dollars of transfer payments from the federal government to the states. Those transfer payments, the states self-report what those transfer payment numbers should be. So California and New York and Illinois lie like crazy and say that these are all legitimate payments. Well, these days I think they're even admitting that they literally want hundreds of millions of dollars for illegals. But for a while there, they're trying to deny it. So you get these transfer payments for every government program you could possibly think of, and these are self-reported by the state, and at least historically there was no enforcement of California New York, Illinois, and other states, when they would lie, there was no actual enforcement to say like, hey, you're lying. These payments are fraudulent. Now under the Trump administration, the Trump administration does not want to send hundreds of billions of dollars of fraudulent payments to the states. But and the reason you have this standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters, and the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
By importing voters.
That is
and
literally what they're
incentivizing
doing.
people to only vote for them. And overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
That's Elon Musk and Joe Rogan. The whole idea behind the Democrat Party is, of course, to destroy the system, the honest system of voting, and incorporate their own corrupt system. And that way they get to control everything. Yeah, we're catching on. We're getting it. And then this here.
Okay, the card has your name on it?
Yes.
All right, and go ahead with the number, please.
It's 3, 2, 1. Good evening. We are live on television right now with an investigation into scam callers. We have the FBI on the line. They are tracking this phone number as we speak. Sir, what is your full name again?
Yeah. He didn't want any part of her. And then this here, J.D. Vance drops a nuke on Dems and Chucky Schumer.
Someone finally said it, y'all. J.D. Vance just went on an interview, and he laid out exactly what is happening, what is going on in the DNC, the Democrat Party, the far left, how they are taking full advantage, and how Schumer's days are officially numbered. I quote, so this is a clip from a J.D. Vance interview that was just aired on Fox News. There's two I'm going to show you back to back. And what he goes into here is really fascinating from a standpoint of what's genuinely happening behind closed doors. I'm going to let it rip, and then we'll add some commentary. I think you guys are going to like this one. There are so many far-left people who run the Democratic Party in Washington, D.C., they just want to burn it down. They don't care if the troops don't get paid. They don't care if you cause billions of dollars of lost productivity. They don't care if you shut down the airline industry, which they were very close to doing. They just want to get Trump. And they don't care if they have to burn the entire country down in order to get Trump. That's what they want to do. And I think that it shows how stupid that approach is politically, because normally you would expect all right, I'm going to hold on a second. He's got another point, but I want to just set up camp on that momentarily because this is very important commentary around this. This stacks with polling that we've covered on this channel where over 20% of the Democrat population just wants them to fight Trump. Burn the house down because there's a cockroach in it. I don't care. Burn the entire thing flat to the ground because you got to defeat Trump. Trump is the Antichrist. He is the anti-democracy candidate. He is the guy that hates everything and anything that has to do with America. That's what they've been told for 10 years, ad nauseum, full-on propaganda submersion, right? They will be willing to destroy everything that you just saw as long as they can get a win over Trump. And when they didn't get the win over Trump, when Trump actually defeated them again and Republicans defeated them again, you can see the fury was shifted to Chuck Schumer. He's about to say in either this clip or the next one that Schumer's career was just effectively ended. Y'all, this is very, very over the target. And the thing that's powerful about JD Vance is he has the ability to connect with everyday people. He speaks the language, and he's easy to communicate to and communicate with. That's a very important skill that does not really work with a lot of the elitists in the DC circles. All right, let's keep on going.
As the United States to get blamed for a shutdown. The American people were smart enough to recognize that the Democrats were the ones who were sort of holding this hostage. They were saying that unless you give us everything that we want, unless you give us $1.5 trillion in benefits, healthcare for illegal aliens, we're going to destroy the country. We're going to keep the government shut down indefinitely. I think the president recognized eventually the American people are going to recognize this is the Democrats doing this. The Democrats, I think, made a huge political mistake by continuing to push for all of these crazy things. And they said, if you don't give all these crazy things, we're going to keep the government shut down. It was politically stupid, but you're right. I don't understand the psychology of a Democrat who says, we'd like to burn the country down in order to get Donald Trump. But unfortunately, it just drives home that that's what their party is about. That was the thing.
Yep. That's what they're about. Burn it down, do whatever's necessary for them to win. They don't care who they hurt or anything. And then a woman who lives 10 minutes from Dearborn describes her experience of today and even what was witnessed after 9/11.
My friends cannot walk down the street now in Dearborn without being spit on by Muslims.
So, coming from somebody who was raised right outside of Dearborn, spent a lot of time in that city, I will tell you that what you are hearing is absolutely true. Now, there's two parts of Dearborn, the east side and the west side. The west side is about 50% Christian, 50% Muslim. The east side is about 90% Muslim, if not more. The east side is where you hear that mayor saying that he's putting that street up named after a T organization or somebody that was a T. Yes, that is the east side by Warren Avenue. So as a woman that grew up 10 minutes from Dearborn and spent the majority of my time in that area growing up, I will tell you that a woman cannot walk down the street in East Dearborn and not get harassed in some way or even spit on. I've seen friends of mine get spit on for not covering their hair and their face. You will not pass a building that is not written in Arabic. You cannot read anything. It's like being in a third world country. Now, I know that there'll be pushback on this video and people will say, that's not true. American women can walk down the street in Dearborn. Well, I'm telling you right now that it is absolutely true. And I have several times walked down the street in Dearborn and been harassed. My friends have been spit on, and it happens every day down there. And another thing, I remember growing up, after 9/11, driving down the street, actually on Warren Avenue in Dearborn, and everyone, all of these Muslims lined up on the street, cheering and screaming, beeping their horns. They were celebrating it. And that is exactly what they were doing. So yes, what you're hearing about Dearborn is absolutely true. Yes, it is.
Deport every single one of them that spits on a white woman in America for not covering her head. For more content to help you with your Christian walk, be sure to follow, like, and subscribe.
There's millions and millions of people who do not belong in this country. Get them gone. Absolutely. They come here, they want what we have, but they want us to accept everything they do. They want to take this country. It's like, no, go back to where you came from. Do that. Take that country back over. That's your own country. Don't try that shit here. And then, let's see here. Then, and this here, if he wants to send, this is about Trump. If he wants to send Americans over there to fight for Israel, let's let Don Jr., Eric, and Barron lead the way. It's a little meme here. And then this here, Israel is last. So the British Crown will go first. I'm going to do a separate deal on that one there. And then it has to do with Immigration Act 1971. Anyway, I believe, nope, one more here. Earthquake with a preliminary magnitude of 6.5 roused southern and central Mexico.
Vamos a presentar ya muy pronto. Espero la próxima semana, lunes o martes. Uy, está temblando. A ver, tú entra.
It says a strong earthquake rattled southern and central Mexico on Friday, interrupting President Claudia Sheinbaum's first press briefing of the new year as seismic alarms sounded. The earthquake had a preliminary magnitude of 6.5 and its epicenter was near the town of San Marcos in the southern state of Guerrero, near the Pacific Coast resort of Acapulco, according to Mexico's National Seismology Agency. Wow. Hope everyone's safe. That is all for now. God bless y'all. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.